I built a supplement brand to over 36 grand a month and then sold it. That was 861 days from start to finish. Now it took me 8 months just to launch the brand. That was 8 months of overthinking, wasted time and money that I will never get back. But you don't need 8 months to launch a supplement brand, you just need 90 days. And that's why in this video, I'm gonna break down the exact step-by-step system I wish I had from day one when I wanted to launch my supplement brand. Now, before I get into the exact steps, I need to tell you why most founders never get off the starting line when it comes to launching a brand. Most founders are stuck in a planning loop. They've got the Excel sheets, they've got 8 different product ideas, they've got mood boards, and they're waiting until everything is perfect. But here is the truth. You're not stuck because you're not ready or because you can't do it. You're stuck because you're trying to build everything at once without any clear direction. And that's exactly how I started too, and it cost me hundreds of days and thousands of pounds, so I have been in your position. Now, step one, before anything else, you need to identify your customer's #1 pain point. Most founders start by plucking a product out of thin air. They try and force it into the market because they like it themselves, when actually, customers don't want your product. This is why most brands fail. To figure out your customer's biggest pain point, you need to start with a person. And I don't just mean anyone that goes to the gym. That's a market, not a niche. You need to figure out who your niche is and who you're going to be targeting. For example, women over 40 with joint pain that want to stay active. This is a very specific customer that will have a very specific set of pain points. Once you've done this, you can find these people, you can talk to them, you can gather research to see what they're struggling with, and you can reverse engineer your product from there. This way, you're building a product that the market actually wants, not just choosing a product because you like it and trying to force it into the market. Now, key takeaway from this first section: one problem, one person, one product. That's it for your launch. Everything else is just noise. Now, point number 2 is innovation. Now that you've found your niche and your target market, you reverse engineered and found your product to solve their pain points. You need to figure out, how are you actually going to make this product stand out on the shelves so that people choose your product over all the other products that are out there on the market. Now, I'm not just talking about, oh, our product tastes slightly nicer. That's not enough to stand out in the market when you're going up against people that have got thousands and thousands of pounds and massive team members that you're competing against. You need to innovate in 2 core areas. You need to innovate with how many ingredients you're putting in there, the type of ingredients, and the dosages. This is going to inform the biggest part of your marketing. Now, number 2 is you need to innovate with your packaging. It's not good enough to just put things in plain white boxes anymore. The market is too saturated for that. How are you going to innovate with your packaging? Are you going to put it in something completely different, a different material? Is it going to feel different in people's hands? Is it going to be different for them to use on a daily basis? This needs to form a really big part of your research stage before you bring anything to market. Now, when you innovate with your formula and you innovate with your packaging, then you're really going to bring a winning product to market. Okay, now point number 3. Now that we know who our target market is and how we're innovating, we have to find someone to make the product. So this section is suppliers. Now, for a lot of people, it's a minefield to find suppliers in the UK because there are so many of them and MOQs are really high. But just start by going onto Google and typing in your product or your product's niche, for example, protein powder suppliers in the UK. Or protein powder suppliers in Europe. And before reaching out to any supplier, there are 3 key things that you need to include in your brief to them. Number 1, what's their minimum order quantity? You need to figure out whether you can actually afford their minimum order quantity. Number 2 is their lead time. How long does it take from placing the order to getting the product in your hands? Generally, this is going to be about 6 to 8 weeks or maybe 8 to 10 weeks. Now, number 3 is super important, and it's communication. This might sound soft, but it's really important, because if they take 4 days to respond to an inquiry, how is that going to give you confidence when you've given them 10 grand to build out your product? Communication is key. Now, if you're trying to bring your supplement brand to market, but you don't know where to start with suppliers, or you're struggling to find any suppliers with a reasonable minimum order quantity and lead time, then click the link below to book in an application call with me. I have a list of suppliers that I put people in touch with inside Startup Club that have probably some of the lowest minimum order quantities in the UK, quickest lead times, and lowest product development fees. Believe me, I know people that have wasted tens of thousands of pounds on the wrong supplier, so this is a really crucial part of your journey to get right. Click that link below to book in an application call with me. Okay, now step number 4, this is where things get really exciting, and it's product development. Once you've chosen your supplier, you've started to build out the formula, you need to start sampling the product to see how it tastes, to see how it feels, to see the impact. Now this can either be done by post, where the company will actually send you out samples of your product, or you can go in person down to their factory to try things in person. Now I'd always recommend going in person because you get to meet the team and you get lots of content for your brand, which is really important. And usually you get 3 or 4 rounds of sampling, you try the flavors, you feel the impact, and you make little changes to the ingredients in the dosages so you end up with a product that you're happy with. Now a couple of guys inside Startup Club recently went through their product development phases. They got to actually try their product for the first time, feel the impact, and see this product that they brought from the head into reality. It really is one of the best parts of launching a supplement brand. Now once you've gone through product development, which can take a couple of weeks going back and forth to make sure you nail things, we move on to step number 5, and that's ordering your product and building out your brand infrastructure. Your product is going to take somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks to arrive. You do not want to sit back and relax at this point. There are lots of things that you need to tick off to make sure you have a successful launch. Most founders just sit back and wait, and then when their product lands, they have no strategy, they're running around like headless chickens, and they don't drive any sales. You do not want to end up in this position. So during that 6 to 8 week period, here's what you want to do. You want to start building out your marketing strategy. What sales channels are you going to launch on? What split of paid versus organic? You need to know your margins inside out. You need to decide what affiliates you're going to start working with. You need to start outreaching to them. Are you going to be doing any business to business sales? Are you going to get stocked in gyms, supplement shops? This is all stuff that you need to plan out, and 6 to 8 weeks is plenty of time to do this. And hopefully after hearing all those things, you now know why that is so important to get right during this period and not just sit back and relax. Now by the time your product arrives, you should have an audience waiting for it, and this is the difference between a brand that sells out and a brand stock that just sits there for 2 years waiting to expire. Now I take founders through this exact system that we've just covered inside Startup Club. 90 days, these 5 steps custom tailored exactly to your product, brand and market, with me working alongside you the whole way. And it's not just theory. Every step that I just walked you through, I've been through myself with my own supplement brand Crush, or I've taken tens of other founders through it as well. The 90 days are tight, but if you stick to the structure and work hard, it is absolutely achievable. So if you're actually serious about bringing your supplement brand to market and you don't want to waste tens of thousands of pounds and potentially years of time, then click the link below to book in an application call with me to see if we're a good fit to work together. On the call, we'll have a straightforward conversation. We'll look at your product, your business model, and your idea, and I'll tell you more specifically about what I do to help bring your brand to market in the most efficient way possible. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, I hope you've taken some insight. I promise launching a supplement brand will be one of the hardest things you've ever done, but it will also be one of the most rewarding. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've just crossed over 1,000 subs after a year and a half of building this channel, and there's going to be much more content coming on building supplement brands, the clients that I work with, and behind the scenes in my life. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.